think, and how are you feeling right now?
Until like I think the week before it actually released, it never like hit me, because for me it was always there's 2 years left, there's 2 years left, there's 1 year left, and then it went 4 months, 3 months, 2 months, and then it was like it was first of all like really quick, and second of all I didn't really get the fact that it was happening until like a week before it happened. And then I had like full on mental breakdown. And I was like, yeah, it's just so weird. It's so unreal. Like thinking like that 3.5 years of like work has like now come to this point and it's happened.
Yeah. I never envisioned the end of. I never envisioned a release, because we started in 2021.
Literally, we started in 2021.
Yeah, it just seemed endless, and I didn't want to tell anybody, and I want to keep my feelings at bay.
I think when I was shooting for the film and when the film was about to be released, I remember when I was sitting in the trailer, in the screening room, and when we were watching the trailer on the big screen, I was shocked to see the scale and the vision of the film. And I don't think that I have, till now it has synced, the fact that the way people are responding to the film, I don't think that has still sunk in yet.
The fact that there was like entire cities that were just like green screened and it just looked so real. I was so shocked, because when we were shooting we don't see any of this, right? We don't see it until the final edit either. So seeing like that small set room that we're in become like a city, it was like insane.
But I was like, I haven't been there.
I don't know this. I shoot here.
I feel like with the 3 of our characters, which is Raya's character, Ajju's and Crane's character, we have touched different places.
Correct,
including like the Kashi set and the truck and all of it. So for me and for the 3 of us, I think when we were shooting the truck sequence, we know that the truck is stagnant. Somebody's moving it from the back.
And there's green screen throughout.
Yeah, and there's green screen. And when I saw the truck move and us doing the action and she coming in with Ashwathama, it was
that
amazing.
looked surreal.
It was not just the fact that my first shoot was with Amitabh Bachchan sir. It was also that was my first shoot ever, and I was also like much younger, so I was like so nervous. And so Nagi is like, oh yeah, so just say this line in Telugu, and I'm like, you're expecting me to not only act, say a line that I don't know the language of in front of Amitabh Bachchan sir. Like, how are you expecting me to be able to do this? And on the first day, it started off a little rough, because at the end of the day there was this one big dialogue that I wasn't able to. I just broke down on set, and Nagi was like, it's fine, go home, you come back tomorrow. I was like traumatized. I was like, just fire me, dude, just get somebody else. But it just got easier because Bachchan sir was also very accommodating. Like, he practiced lines with me on set, so that was like much more comfortable.
I don't know if the ADs caught it on set, but there was this one time when I got nervous and I broke into Malayalam. And I forgot that I was mic'd. And I remember, I think it was Nen, somebody came and said, Kavi, are you speaking Telugu? Maybe. But yeah, that's what happens when I get nervous. But having said that, the ADs were so helpful.
Yes.
Can I just say, knowing Nagi, like, it doesn't matter. He gives you 20 lines, you come on set, 5 of those lines are kept, all the rest
He has this whimsical way of working. He improvises as he goes along, and again, very relatable what you're saying.
Sometimes it just comes to you and tell the context and ask you to write your own dialogue.
But at the same time, like the way he speaks to, like, there's a certain trust that he already shows in you. He's like the way he speaks to you is as if, oh yeah, of course you'll be able to do it. And I'm like, yeah, I will be. Okay, if you say so. So I derive a lot of my confidence from him.
And I just have this image in my mind of Nagi coming with his hand like this and
oh my God, that's so.
And telling me, that was good, but can you maybe add a little bit of this into it?
I think I took that from him. Sometimes even when I'm sitting here, I'm like doing that.
First of all, are you a Prabhas fan in real life otherwise? And
when I saw him for the first time, I was like, is this real? Like, is this, I mean, he has this aura, and he's like larger than life person, and when you see him, like, there are flashes of all the films, all the dialogues he said, everyone. It was just like a dream seeing him in real life. And I still remember the first day I saw him, and I just ran and I just wanted to say hi, because I'm Luke. I can go there, but he was surrounded by his team members and they were stopping me. Hey, who's this guy? But then I was waiting till Nagi.
You were basically in real life a fanboy.
On and off screen, you were a fanboy.
I remember when Deepika was on set and Anna, me had a few the lines that we have. Nagi took us away from the set and we went to her the area where we were rehearsing. I was telling myself, this is Deepika Padukone who has done Om Shanti Om and ye Jawani Hai Diwani. And I was constantly like, don't look at her for like more than 2 seconds. She's going to freak out.
So
Creep her out.
Yeah.
And I remember me and Ayaz were on set together at this point, and he'd already gone through this, but I didn't know what to call her, and she was like, oh, just call me DP. And I was like, did you just say to call you DP? Really? Me? But yeah.
So cute.
It was so cute.
I just took that liberty and I called her D. I don't know.
Same.
And I think she was very fine with that. And I was like, well, it should be fine. How was your experience working with? Because you have very like personal and dare I say intimate scenes with Deepika. Like, you know, your character also is very important in Sumati's arc.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because one, the kind of learning and the takeaways that you can have from an actor, an artist right in front of you, that was number one. But the second thing I think that eased me out was the fact that I knew that she also didn't know the language. If I could say, due to the lack of a better word or phrase, that was a saving grace for me, because I knew that, okay, this person doesn't know the language. It almost felt like we were starting on the same page. It isn't like that, but it felt, it was what I was telling myself to convince.
Hey, what was your guys' favorite dialogue?
Our complex lo prativadini champina tarvata navvuta establishes how he is as a character, and I think for me that dialogue gave me a whole understanding of his world. Can I tell you what I like, the dialogue that I like of yours?
Yeah,
Ashwa uncle, wait
Yeah,
for me.
same.
But that was the scene ended up getting cut from the movie.
It
no?
is, but it still exists
It
in the...
exists. The thing is that like I
Correct.
feel like the fan base and like everyone knows that like that's like Raya. That's like
Yeah.
Towards the fag end of my parts where she says Shambhala Nunchi. Yeah, that because I felt like a rebel saying
Yeah,
that.
and the way you turn and how you break that case
I
and
was
you
just thinking that.
That's my favorite. I just told her today
Yeah,
morning. That's my favorite
Like,
dialogue
it was
of
like
first.
something breaking out of a shell. You know what I'm saying? So I would genuinely want to know like what the hardest scene was for you guys to film on set.
Just the action of it and the turning around, and I actually incurred some physical injuries while doing it as well. And I remember with all those harnesses tied up, they were constantly rubbing against my skin, so they gave me a little bit of a bruise which turned into a tear which got infected. So it got pretty gory and pretty messy, but I think it all paid off in the end.
But for me, when we are in the truck scene, when Kyra and Ajju are together, that was the most difficult scene, because for the first time, when the camera is on you and you don't have much to say, how do you be a furniture piece in a scene? It's almost as if you have to be doing nothing as the character.
I think for me, I have to say one of the action scenes, specifically the one where I flew to Nellore for a solo shot, where actually a lot of it wasn't CGI because we were actually in a desert and there was an actual temple that had been excavated. Down to the temple, there's a dune. So the scene is I have to run down and then hide a little bit, see the radar, and then jump into the temple. I think we shot that scene like 20 times because Nagi is like, it's just not looking natural. The run is not looking natural. And this dune is much steeper than it looks, okay? Like, walking up, I think back up was so, like, I was feeling winded, my chest was hurting. Like, every time, it took about like an hour and a half to do that entire sequence because every time I needed like a 5-minute break. So that was like very difficult. And funnily enough, the scene that ended up working was when I was running, I fell. And he's like, that looks natural, we want that, keep that. That's the scene that we are keeping.
That is Nagi.
That's Nagi, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's...
But the difficult part was wearing that harness and just sitting there waiting for your shot. And it's like you can't breathe properly, and it's like when you eat something and you just come onto the set, it's like you want to burp and it doesn't come out.
So relatable.
It's like
so relatable.
it's like the harness is too tight and I just want to get out of it. It's like that's the difficult. That's not the fun part. But rest while doing all those stunts and all, I was just thinking like, how cool are these going to look on screen? Like, let's put more stunts, put more jumpings and all. I was like that. It was a fun part. I don't think it was fun shooting for the whole thing more than.
I was just going to say, I would start talking about this by giving a huge shout out to our costume HOD, Archana.
Yeah.
She has done a fab job with all of our costumes.
Something I've never seen.
And not just Archana, I would say the whole Archana and her team.
And her
Yeah.
team.
You know, I was lucky enough to see them brainstorming there. Okay, should we tie a PVC pipe for a belt?
Before we end, I want to ask one last question.
Sure.
What do you guys think is going to happen in part 2?
Oh,
like
no.
your theory of it.
My
And just
theory?
like, yeah, just
Need
a bit of
theories.
what do
haven't
you
thought
think your
about
character
this.
could do?
I'm going to plan a revenge against Bhairava.
Revenge against Bhairava
Actually,
for
why
Ashwa.
did
Great, you know?
Obviously, more of a bond with Ashwa, like more of a, like a
Ashwa.
father-daughter.
Correct, yeah.
Like this father-daughter kind of. But also like, I want one fight scene. Like give me one fight scene.
I would want to befriend Yaskin and go serve him first, then betray him and come on the other side.
He has plans.
I have plans. I have elaborate plans.
multiple
telling all
Multiple plans I have. First befriend Yaskin, then betray him, come on the other side, fight with the rebels.
I think we should say all
Yes.
the ideas that we don't want in the film.
Thank you so much, guys. It was lovely doing this with you.
It was.
Apart
It
from
really
the
was.
film.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.